So next type is, now I'll go to the next type, which is nothing but higher order function. So again, these are the type of mocking only, and in some case you can use both. In some case you may need to use only one. But monkey patching and higher order function, I think both you can use in the same type of use cases. So in monkey patching also use when you need to just mock is some package level function. You have to just mock some function, and mostly those type of function which are not interface type or not any struct type basically. So those type of function we use through the mocking or higher order function. Okay, now I'm coming to the higher order function. In that higher order function, if you read the definition of higher order function in the Go language, basically it it happens in two cases. So a function is called a higher order function if it fulfills one of the following conditions. What is the following conditions is passing the function as a argument to another function, right? So for example, here do something is a, let's say one function, and generally we pass the variable as a parameter. Now in passing as a higher order function, we'll pass some function variable. So this is a function and it is returning to the function variable, and now this function variable will be passed here instead of a general variable. This function variable is a function type variable, not a means general data type, integer, floater, all those things. And mostly we will use these things only in the unit testing. During the unit testing, what we will do, we'll create a function, we'll create a function whatever we want to mock. Basically the parameter and the things will be exactly same, and we'll store into some variable, and the same variable will pass it. So if the main advantage is, see here, if I have declared one variable, later we can override this variable. Okay, so that's the main concept for passing the higher order function during the mocking. The second part is returning function from another function. Basically this is just for the means just for the definition. We don't use this part in the mocking things, right? So the first part I will show with the same example, and I will try to discuss that how we are going to mock a function using the higher order function methods. Okay, so I will use the same example. So if you see this example, this is the same example. Okay, so this is the same example. Now I have to avoid the wait call, because wait is creating a problem for me. So I have to avoid the wait call. Now what I can do, that I can one way I can do is using the monkey patching, where I can declare external variable. Now here I can do similar way. I can create a function and assign to waiter type. And if you see here, I have just restructured the code, actual code, so that I can patch it. Okay. So instead of calling that variable, I'm calling this function, right? This waiter is nothing, this function. So this W is just a waiter type of variable, right? So if you see the outcome of this program, it will be exactly same. It will means the overall output will not be get changed. Nothing will happen. So if you run this program, go run exam type 2 and example1.go. Sorry, it's okay. So see here, the output is exactly same, and again it is calling the same behavior. It is calling to the wait, because I have given a function type. I'm passing basically a function to a add method. So here just two things we need to notice, that see, suppose previously we have written this type of code. Okay, This looks very simple, but somehow it's untestable without basically running your dependency. So somehow you have to modify the code little bit. Either you have give some space to pass as a function, or you some just declare as a external variable or assign this function. Okay, so here we are passing as a function, and the same behavior we are getting as a output. Now the same, if this is the case, because it's a little bit refactored now, you can test it easily. As I mentioned that in this case also, because w is a variable external, simply will just mock it, not mock it, basically will override it based on our output. And whenever it's get called, basically override the actual, so that it will not hit the actual weight, it will hit just instant returning weight. Okay, so it instance get passed. So overall, if you see these two methods, what actually it is happening is, one way you are basically declaring giving one variable, and one way you are giving one function, and both variable you are overriding in the test program. So this way we are patching the things, so that we can avoid the dependency part. But the main thing we need to understand that little bit refactor required to patch either function or the variable. Okay, so this is the second method I wanted to discuss.